Greetings, good people. I'm the Mad Priest of Feargal, coming to you from the Chapel of Perseverance in Feargal. This is not a sermon, this is a summary of a book I've worked on called The Eternal Now, An Existential Journey, which describes a short meditation system that will help people to escape the prison of being caught in time, caught in past, present, future, that wrestling match that we experience every day. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to sleep, we are trapped in a prison of time. And if we want to live Christian lives, righteous lives, and understand how to enter into the presence of the Almighty, we need to understand that God is eternal, and His domain is eternal. His essence is eternal. He dwells in eternity. He is in a space that is timeless. And in order to understand how to approach Him and how to get closer to God, we need to begin to meditate what I call the meditations of the eternal now. Every time you touch the Almighty, every time you speak to God, you are touching eternity. And therefore, for all intents and purposes, you're basically touching the eternal now. Now, some people will blithely go on about this platitude of living in the moment and think there's something so righteous and so correct about being so aware of living in the moment. But it's more than that. It's more than just living in the moment. For a Christian, living in the moment means speaking to God on a moment-by-moment basis and understanding that as we approach our death, as we approach our finality, we need to bring these eternal moments, the eternal nows, closer and closer together so that we understand what our lives and purposes are going to be like in heaven, which is a domain of eternity. So, the book, The Eternal Now, has two basic chapters, and I've outlined them into 3 chapters because I believe it's very useful to experience this meditation in 3 different levels. The first one is random moments of the eternal now. Secondly, structured daily meditations of the eternal now. And 3, the extraordinary moments of the eternal now. So let's talk briefly about what these random moments are. In 1993, a guy called James Redfield wrote this New Age book called The Celestine Prophecy. And one of these 12 prophecies are the synchronicity, the awareness of synchronicity. Now, of course, the book itself is the typical New Age bullshit. It's mumbo-jumbo, pseudo-psychological, pseudo-spiritual. It involves the usual entourage of Eastern religions. It's the kind of thing that most people just lap up. It's like the sort of fast food of spirituality. But one of the things I liked about James Redfield's first prophecy, one of 12, is the understanding of the awareness of synchronicities. And he says when you look at beauty and thereafter you try to decide what you want to do with your life, the awareness of something beautiful awakens a heightened reality and allows you to notice things around you that you wouldn't otherwise notice. You wouldn't notice it if you hadn't seen it, if you hadn't spoken, if you hadn't spent time looking at something beautiful. So, random moments for me are moments of synchronicity inspired by the presence of the Almighty. So when you pray and when you spend time with God on a moment-by-moment basis, you're going to start to notice things that you wouldn't normally notice. You will see things around you, you'll suddenly think, and it'll be things like a child smiling, or a woman walks past and you're not looking at her for any sexual reasons, you're looking at her and seeing a human being. You look at someone, or you will look at the sky, or you will look at something, a sign, lettering, or numbers. You will begin to notice these random moments as being important, because when you're in the presence of God, nothing is random. Everything is purposeful. Everything is structured to show you something, to show you the way, the direct and the correct way to attain God, to attain your pathway to heaven. It's like the stairway to heaven. You need to attain those stairway. Each step of the way is those moments of meditation. Now, random, I call them random because that's kind of how I see them. When I meditate in the morning, and then I take a walk, I'll notice things I wouldn't notice if I didn't meditate, if I didn't spend time with God. Okay, that's random moments. Second, let's talk briefly about what is inspired by this term structured daily meditations of the eternal now. I was raised Catholic, so I know that the Roman Rite of the Catholic Church calls certain times of the day the canonical hours, or the officium. And when you spend time in a monastery, as I did, we went through 8 of these canonical hours. It's matins at night, lauds early morning, prime sunlight, terce the 3rd hour, sext noon, none is the 9th hour, vespers sunset, and compline is the end of the day. So I never liked the vespers. I didn't like the canonical hours. They didn't make any sense. They just seemed archaic. So I've come up with 12 structured moments. And you'll read, if you buy the book, you'll read it. It's waking up to the new day, meditating on the day's chores, breakfast, perceiving the atmosphere around you as you go to work, encountering people, awareness of the workplace, etc., etc., getting up to working its way to going to sleep at night. So, and you ask, why do I structure these meditations like the canonical hours? Because I believe one valid point about the Catholic Church is, notwithstanding the fact that the liturgy seems to be repetitive, a lot of the prayers are actually recited, and people will laugh about it and say, "Oh, you guys, you don't talk to God, you just recite things." But one of the valuable things about the Catholic Church is they have endured for 2,000 years. And what I found, when my faith is starting to sag, I go to church and I listen to the sermon, I listen to the readings, I listen to a sermon, I go to communion, and the kind of repetitive act of going through the motions reignites my faith, and I'm able to release my faith by doing some repetitive thing that seems to be aimless, but in actual fact, because we understand that we are human and we fail on a daily basis, sometimes you need structured meditations to guide you through certain gray areas of your Christian life. So I use what is called structured daily meditations of the eternal now. And it starts in the morning and ends in the evening. The third part of these meditations are the extraordinary moments. Now, why I say these are important is because there are moments in life when you want to connect with God and celebrate a performance. For instance, when I had these musical ensembles, I used to become so elated after the performance. I wanted to share those moments with God and say, "God, I'm so excited. I finished a wonderful concert. I've achieved something," or "I've had a Kairos experience. God is showing me something." Or else, "I've been very sad. Someone died." Meditate, connect with God in any of these moments where they are important, they're extraordinary. They're not random, they're not things that you notice on a random basis, but they're things that you want to celebrate, or you want to work your way through. like success at last, or else being angry with someone. Stop and say, God, I'm angry right now. Can I have this eternal moment and see how I can process this? Moments of compassion when you forgive someone, or when you love somebody. Moments of gratitude, etc., etc. You'll know that during the course of the day, the week, the month, the year, there are certain moments that you want to celebrate. And these moments add spiritual value to your path, to your walk with God. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is what I'm talking about. This is a book that I'm going to be publishing shortly. It's called The Eternal Now, An Existential Journey, and it talks about random moments, structured daily meditations of the Eternal Now, and the extraordinary moments of the Eternal Now. I hope you enjoy the book. It's $3. You can afford it. And you will find that as you spend time understanding how you are touching eternity on a daily basis, you're going to find that you will begin to understand what the culture, heaven's culture, is really about, and what we are working towards on a day-by-day basis. Over and out.